this is crazy to think that an old senile man is the one that, one, is holding the entire Democrat Party hostage, but
yes.
two, could be the one to take down the Democrat Party. If Joe Biden single-handedly takes down the Democrat Party, I will never say another bad thing about him.
He needs the Congressional Medal of Honor.
That's right. We're going to double up. We're going to Medal of Freedom. Yep. Joe Biden, you can be a hero here. Do not drop out. Do not drop out of this race. Everybody be quiet. I'm trying to do a podcast. Okay, now you can talk amongst yourselves.
Thanks.
John Bird, hello.
Hey,
Tony Gump,
everybody.
hello.
I'm here as well.
Hey,
Tony.
now, back in the saddle. We had to take almost a 1 week hiatus because just of logistics and vacations and everything else. So here we are back again in our secret
Hiatus is a
bunker.
fancy word.
Hiatus?
Yeah.
Am I using it wrong?
No, you're using it right.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that word was pretty fancy.
Yeah, I don't. I try to use, because you always want to seem smart on the radio.
Right.
Podcast is a little different because people feel like they're just watching regular people like them. But being on the radio, being in a high-profile show, you want to seem smarter than you actually are. Mm-hmm. All radio people do that. I mean, I think I make it clear to the audience, like, I'm at this level, intelligence-wise. Mm-hmm. I don't have a college degree. I've got a high school diploma. I didn't even get an advanced diploma. Like, I had to take the standard classes because I kept failing. But you do want to throw a couple big words in there and, like, make people think that you've got a bigger vocabulary than normal.
Yeah, hiatus is I think I've maybe said that twice in my life, you know.
So it is classified as a big word.
Yeah, not necessarily lengthwise, but I mean, I would think so.
It's girth.
Girth, yes. Okay, so the girth of the word.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily the length.
And, well, a lot of women say girth is better than length.
Hiatus.
When it comes to words.
Yes, words. Because you do high. So, yeah, it's a hiatus.
Is that a hiatus in your pants, or are you happy to see me?
I'm not sure that's a definition.
No.
That might be the second or third option, you know how they do in the dictionaries.
The dictionary.
Yeah. I've still got my World Book encyclopedias, thank you.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, man. I open them up where the human body is and, you know, the little clear sheets and you pull them back. No, I don't. Are you kidding
I was
me?
going to say, homeboy's got fiber internet now and an Encyclopedia Britannica, a whole
No,
set.
not Britannica. World Book. World Book.
What's the difference?
World Book is better.
Is it?
It's made in the good old US of A.
What is
Britannica? Gee, I don't know. Does that sound British?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
That's another big word. I don't know what Britannica means. I just feel like it was an
There
encyclopedia.
was a boat named Britannica, wasn't there, Tony?
I believe there was. And I remember the Britannica commercials when I was younger with the same guy, you know, the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah.
They were expensive back then.
God,
Yeah.
going back and watching some movies or like documentaries and stuff that were from, for instance, I was watching Who Killed WCW. I think I noted that last time. And it was going back to the 90s in the heyday of wrestling when things were so good. But it was kind of scanning over culture and how we just operated as a society back then. And he's whispering to you. And how we operated as a society back then. You know, no cell phones. We were all watching TV together as a family. Like, even the show. You go back and look at the TV shows of, you know, some of the sitcoms we used to watch. it was just so good. I mean, it was. I often people say, "Man, I wish I could go back in time," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't like what I got going on now." But when you really think about it, you're like, things would be a lot more simple.
Well, you know, when our kids were younger, the kid's mom and I decided that we were going to watch Little House on the Prairie. Of course, you had to buy seasons in DVD back then, but we watched the whole series with the kids. I mean, it was amazing, you know. But you know, after that, we all kind of went our, you know, they turned into teenagers and crap like that, and ruined it all.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. You know, P Diddy's obviously a teenager at this point, and it is one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with because he's no longer like. He just doesn't want to even hang out with me. When he used to be my little sidekick, like he went with me wherever I went. And so now it's just like right in the heart. Actually, my heart's over here.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to get worse. You're going to want to die.
Well, I'm just like, at some point, like, he's got to get over it, right? At some point.
Yeah.
I mean, grows out of
my
it.
son Mason, who will be 24 in a couple of months, 3 months, he's gotten through it.
Well, and it's not, I don't want to over exaggerate because, I mean, we talked to him Saturday and, you know, he tells him what's going on and everything. So we talk. It's
all this new stuff is happening, man, and they're just drawn to it like moths to a flame.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Speaking of Saturday, I gotta commend you for coming over to my place and getting in my crawl space. We actually documented you in my crawl space.
Yes.
This is who was whispering earlier. This is me outside of my house, and John Bird is in the crawl space trying to help us move the internet from one room to the other because apparently the waves from the Wi-Fi has been frying my brain all this time, and I had no idea.
Yep.
And so this has helped us out tremendously. But this is what it looked like when Bird was under my house. It's under my house right now. How's it going, Bird?
It's going good.
You feeling good?
Yeah, makes me feel alive.
It's good.
I love this shit.
An hour later, John Bird is still under my house. John Bird, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. What was that?
Had a rattlesnake under here, but I killed it.
John Bird, you're almost there. You've almost made it.
What?
That's what she said.
I'm here. Here.
Andrew!
I'm right here.
Andrew!
That was a close one.
This is the kind of stuff you only see in horror movies. Like, this is the stuff that would make me crap my pants.
That was pretty terrifying.
John Bird, congratulations.
Then I stumbled forward and fell over.
And then he fell on me. Yes. Almost knocked me. I was able to catch myself, but he did almost knock me over.
See, that kind of stuff makes me feel alive. I enjoy that. I used to when I do work, I used to do stuff like that when I was younger. So the day I can't do it is the day I lay down and die.
You know, that's fascinating because those type of things make me want to die. Like, that's why I had not done it yet. There's no way in hell I could ever get into my crawl space. I can't. I mean, there's some things I gotta say. If you told me there was $1 billion under there, I'd probably figure out how to do it. But like, I just, you know, I can't. With the anxiety and I feel like I'm claustrophobic and everything else.
So it's all claustrophobia. It's not like the filth or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's just the claustrophobia. I've done some pretty filthy things in my life.
It's tough because when you like have to climb over the vents and things like that, and you get to a certain point, you realize I can't get out of here quickly. If a zombie is under here, I cannot get out quickly.
Because there's like when I watch these videos of people, you mentioned doing something in a cave and it being very low ceiling and all that.
Yeah.
When I see these videos of guys that are crawling in these like crevices and caves,
Spelunkers, speaking of fancy words.
There you go, and it gives me anxiety just to watch that. Like, I have to cut it off. I can't watch somebody go in this little tiny space because. Dude, I mean, if you got stuck, like, what do you do? What do you do if you get a cramp in your leg and you're stuck?
I have to
do you
cut
just
it
die?
off. You cut your leg off.
What happens if you don't get up and walk out of cramp? Does it just kill you? It feels like it's going to kill you.
I don't know. I've never let it
Has
go.
anybody ever done that?
No. I mean, I guess eventually.
Something to think about.
Well, you know, what cured... I used to have claustrophobia real bad. What cured me is I used to install sound systems in churches. And I went one day to this church, and they had like a little pulpit that they had built. And they wanted to run a microphone under there so they could have a mic cable up there for the pastor on the lectern. So I was like, okay, I'll take care of it. So I got the cable, and the only way to get in underneath it had like joists was I had to put one arm up like this and face up, wiggle my way in.
No.
So it's about like this.
No.
So I'm like, I can do it. So I get about 6 feet in, enough to my whole body's in there, and I get it fished through, and then I can't move.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to wiggle, and there's nails like right here. So I screamed for almost 2 hours before a parishioner fortunately came in and was able to pull me out.
Were you praying?
Oh, that was some serious. I was like, Lord, save me. Somebody probably come in and go, what?
You're like, Jesus, I'm in your house, bro. Help me out.
I don't want to die here.
God.
But yeah, he pulled me out, and ever since then, I mean, I don't actively look for it, but
yeah, if you survive that, you can survive anything.
Yep.
Dang.
I couldn't do it, especially the nails around me. No.
Yeah, because you can't lift your head up, and the thing is, to get in there because of my shoulders, I had to do this. I had to do this and wiggle in.
Wow.
So it was tough. Let me tell you, folks, I still have nightmares about it occasionally.
Do you really?
Yeah, I can see the glistening nails mere inches from my face. I can think about how odd is it that I'm in the house of God and I'm going to see him as I die in the house of God. What if they didn't discover me, and like 3 weeks later the preacher is preaching and he's like, what's that smell?
Oh my God.
I smell something. Man, and then probably Netflix would do a special on me.
Well, at least 2 weeks later, once it hit the media, it ended up on the Wheel of Segments is what's that smell?
This is true. But I mean, yeah, it was it was something.
Well, you survived my crawl space, which was good.
That was piece cake.
We then sat down and watched UFC 303, the pay-per-view. Now, what was crazy about it is we did this live stream on Facebook and had all these people start watching. I mean, like hundreds of people.
Yeah,
just
I was
immediately.
shit-faced by then. Thank you.
Yes, and he was drunk. So I thought it was odd because on Facebook doesn't like us, so they don't give us a lot of traction on most things. So
they're jealous.
Jumping on a live stream and then immediately getting that many viewers, I was like, oh, that's what's up. People are excited to see me and John Bird together.
Yeah.
And then I found out after the fact it was because I put UFC 303 in the title and people were trying to find a place online to watch it for free.
Yep.
Because once you started reading the comments, they were like, are you going to turn the fight on, bro? Nobody wants to watch your stupid stuff. They were wanting me to point my camera at the TV so they could watch it and not have to pay for it. But anyway, here's the live stream that we did as John Bird and I were hanging out Saturday night.
Facebook Live for the first time in a long time. I haven't gone live on Facebook in a very long time. And it's late. There's no reason I should be going live on Facebook. There's no reason you should be on Facebook. It's too late. I'm getting to bed. What are y'all doing? Y'all not going to church in the morning? What are you doing up so late?
You look like you've had a few.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Here's the good news, though. I'm sitting here watching UFC 303. Big time pay-per-view. Some guy just got kicked in the face. I love it. And this guy's watching it with me. John Bird! Oh my God!
Yeah, baby.
Can you believe it?
God.
John Bird is actually hanging out with me for UFC 303. 303, baby! I'm so excited about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go live on Facebook, and I just want y'all to hear his reaction as these guys get knocked out. Listen to this is John Bird's UFC commentary.
All right, here goes. The hairy guy's looking good. The bald-headed guy with all of the tattoos,
He looks winded.
Maybe
he
I'll
got some
show-
blood coming out of his nose.
Maybe I won't get like kicked off for showing y'all, but here we go.
Ooh, you kicked him again.
I was pulling for the guy with the hairy
Bald-headed
chest.
tattoo guy is not doing good. He's really winded. Yeah, he's going down.
This is Bird Rogan giving you commentary, play by play.
Yep. Bald-headed tattoo guy. Got to make a comeback. Hairy chest guy is taking him down last round.
That dude is extra hairy.
Oh. Almost. Just stick his tongue out at him. Oh, what disrespect. What disrespect. Just stick his tongue out at him. Oh.
I'm obnoxious when I'm drunk.
That's good. It was a good time.
Man.
I feel like UFC is going to shut my Facebook down.
That'd be awful.
Yeah, it would.
Joe Rogan wouldn't do that to you.
That's true. I feel like if Joe Rogan,
Monaco, man.
I feel like if Joe Rogan ever met me, he would like me. I feel like we'd get along. Dang, we got 73 people watching this, by the way.
No, we don't.
It's crazy.
Do we
76. 78.
Dang. Yeah.
What was that, Bird?
Man, I know. Hey, tell everybody what I did earlier.
What'd you do earlier?
What the hell, man?
Oh, earlier, John Bird called under my
Okay,
house.
anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this goes.
Please
but-
don't stop it. Please, God.
I wondered how it looked. I just wanted to see.
Man, I look like a freaking idiot.
Nah,
I don't handle my alcohol well. Well, I'm not an angry drunk.
No, you're not.
I'm a happy, silly drunk.
You were a very exciting drunk. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Did you get some good sleep Saturday night?
Yeah, I did, and did not wake up with a hangover. Man,
Nice.
that big, nice sectional you guys have got. Oh, it's not, and they had the fan going. Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, speaking of which, talking about the sectional. So today on, as I'm doing my show prep, I'm putting together a phenomenal award-winning show. That's never going to
course,
win
as
an award
usual.
because the people they pick to give awards to in the radio business, were just like
Suck-ups.
They're middle of the road radio anyway. So I'm getting ready, and the Supreme Court decision comes down, completely
Yeah.
throws everything into a tizzy, and so I'm scrambling. Now, as we noted on the radio show, my cutoff is 10:30. By 10:30, I have to be in the car pulling out of the driveway. I look at the clock, and it's 10:27. I'm still sitting at the studio in my pajamas, hadn't gotten ready whatsoever, and I'm freaking out. I tell Trish, I'm like, grab my clothes, grab my shoes, blah blah blah. She helps me out. She puts everything together, and then I get boom boom bing, bada bing, bada boom, and I grab my bags and I take off out the door. Like I'm like, please God, let me get to the station on time. And as I'm leaving, Trish catches a video of me running out of the house.
yeah.
Watch this.
Love you too, baby. Have a good day.
And I've got my shirt around my neck. Like I just took off running. And here was the kicker. That's at 10:32. I get down the street to the highway and realize I don't have my phone. And I'm like, So I turn around, get my phone. 10:34, I'm back on the road. I think I got there, right at 11 o'clock. Is that about
Close
right?
to it. I mean, it was okay because you got that 12-minute intro, and that gives you some time.
That's why my intro's so long.
Yeah.
So I can
true.
make it work on time. Anyway, it was.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention when you were walking out the door, you looked like that you were playing a third-person shooter game.
Can we go back to that and
that.
just look at a still shot
Yeah.
of Andrew McClain running out the door? I thought I was like, looked like I was hunched over.
See, look, it's like you got a gun there. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, just
Take
just
him down. Look, and then he goes running. It's like, ready, SEAL team, go.
Yeah, look at me. Look at that run. Hold on. Start at the beginning and see where I'm shuffling, and he's gone. We need to remake that. Put some music behind
Yes.
it. Oh, that took off, man.
Call of Duty.
Gee,
12.
yeah, even Trish posted on Facebook. She's like, the news is apparently hot today because Andrews just went shuffling out of here like his pants were on fire.
I've rarely seen you run for stuff. you
Yeah, I
know?
don't run. No, it's not
And
my
by the
thing.
way, thank you for bringing my pants. I thought with all that going on, you would have forgotten. To bring my
Whoa.
You know what's crazy is, okay, so here's the backstory to give some context. John Bird brought his change of clothes to get under the house, and then he left it all out on the porch. I don't know if he got naked before he went in my house or what, but
Yeah, I was running around the yard naked.
okay, so his clothes and his shoes, his work clothes and shoes were out on the back porch, and Trisha's like, well, I'll just wash it, and you take it to him tomorrow.
That's so sweet.
And so she does, but I also had some meatloaf that was already
Oh,
like 3 days old.
My gosh.
And while we were waiting for dinner to be cooked Saturday night, I
was the
said, do you
best
want to
food.
try this meatloaf? Because I'm getting ready to throw it out. So he tries it. He's like, oh my God, that's so good. I said, well, you want to take it home with you tomorrow? I'll put it in a aluminum foil. So I did. Of course, Bird forgets it like he forgot his clothes. So he left his pants and his meatloaf at the house. And so I go to his Facebook page and I post on his timeline.
Yes.
I said, I know this is going to sound weird, but you left your meatloaf and your pants at my house. And the comment section blew up.
Yeah.
People started
They did.
reacting to it. They're like, oh my God, I need to know the backstory. I want to be invited to one of your parties. Somebody even said that's what you should title your next podcast is you left your meatloaf in your pants. We'll put that in the description just to
Yeah.
raise some eyebrows. So
Yeah, but the meatloaf was delicious. You didn't have to feed it to your dog.
I'm telling you, it was
I've gone 2 weeks with
it
something
was-
in my fridge and then eating it.
It's expiration Willie at that, but Trisha wouldn't have allowed it because she wouldn't want that. But her meatloaf, she wouldn't want the value of it to decrease. So there's just at some point you got to toss it. But I'm like you, I would I would speculate within myself on whether or not to eat something that's been in the fridge for a week. I might not do it, but I will think about it. So
Yeah, I mean, my cutoff is 8 days. I mean, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
My cutoff is 8 days.
Yeah.
And then 3 days if it's been sitting out.
Okay, that's
So
good.
I'm not stupid.
Depended on but never mind, we won't get into it. So running out of the house because of the Supreme Court decision.
Yes.
By the way, let's just do Fox News this is where they originally announced what had happened this morning with the Supreme Court deciding on Trump's immunity when it comes to January 6th.
Fox News Alert, we're going to get out of that commercial break because we have word that the Supreme Court has issued a ruling on the extent of presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during the tenure of President Trump. This is the big one we've been waiting for. It's consequential. It's really interesting that the Supreme Court in 248 years of our history has never actually ruled on this. So it is big and sweeping. And I have our political panel looking over this right now. Andy McCarthy, Chief Justice John Roberts has the writing on this. He's got the pen. Is that significant?
So you see see the sign on the right side? It says Trump is not above the law. Oh, you can't see it because I'm blocking it. There it is. Trump is not above the law. Imagine that's what your life's been reduced to. That you're the guy out there with a sign talking about Trump's not above the law. He's the most persecuted president in history. What do you mean he's not above the law? He's been convicted over stuff he didn't do. He's been investigated. He's been raided. There is nobody that's not above the law more than Donald Trump. Like he's not above the law. He's like way, way below the law.
Oh, yeah. It's got a target on his back.
It's crazy.
He's the most investigated person in the history that I know of.
Ever.
Yeah.
He's got more felonies than Al Capone. He likes to point that. He's kind of getting to the point where he's bragging about it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like first it was like he's been his whole life, never getting in trouble. And then all of a sudden he's got Al Capone beat on felonies. And he's like, maybe that's not that bad,
Just the fact that's all they found makes me think he was planning on running for president when he was like a kid,
Almost seems that way. Remember that book? What was it called? The Tales of
Baron Trump. Yeah.
Something like that. I had a listener call in. He keeps telling me, hey, you need to read that. I essentially know about it. Like, I've heard a little bit of the backstory, but I haven't read it.
Yeah,
Maybe,
supposedly there's a lot in there that's kind of, oh my gosh.
I wonder if we should do a deep dive one day into that book.
We will, and there's
the show.
also
Like that.
ties with the Trump family and the Tesla, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah,
They knew
that's
each other.
right.
Nick, don't get me started, man. Edison,
What is it?
he's a traitor.
Edison?
He's a scumbag, and I hate him. Tesla.
I mean, I know
Tesla was the genius. We would have free wireless electrical service right now if Edison hadn't destroyed Tesla.
Actually, it wasn't Edison. It was the people paying for Edison's stuff. You're talking J.P. Morgan and Westinghouse and other people.
Right.
Well, here's what
but
needs
come
to
on,
be.
Edison had a factory. He didn't invent a lot
You
of
can't
his
make
stuff.
any money off of the Tesla ideal. You could on the other deal.
Well, here's what needs to be noted: is John Birch's so old, he's got beef with Edison from back in the day. I mean, that's a. I'm just kidding.
I'm a vampire. I live forever. I'm going to come get your ass tonight.
Yeah. Please don't do that. He's crawling out from my vents from under the house.
I'm coming in through the vents.
Let's do this. Since so the Supreme Court decision, I'll explain that in a moment. But no, it was not good for the left. And here is a rapid reaction from the leftists as the Supreme Court ruling was put down. Okay, enough of that. That's good. That was the actual reaction from the left once that Supreme Court ruling happened.
And how many of those were still living with mom and dad or still in school and haven't experienced the real world?
Most of them, they're sitting at home waiting for Joe Biden to forgive their student loan.
If they're not living with mom or dad, I can almost guarantee their kids will be living with mom and dad if they keep it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Who'll be living with grandma and grandpa?
So essentially, what you have with this Supreme Court rule, and this is layman's terms as far as explaining it. This went to the Supreme Court to ask whether or not Trump is immune from prosecution for things that he did as president, in the sense of, if it is an official act, does it make him immune? Jack Smith, the Biden regime are arguing that he was president and what he did on J6 constitutes him inciting a riot and all this kind of stuff. Donald Trump's team argues, no, he was just doing the stuff that presidents do. So the Supreme Court is hearing whether or not he has immunity from prosecution and doing things in his official capacity. Supreme Court says yes. The Supreme Court also says that where Jack Smith's team is trying to prove motive, like what was in his head, why was he doing what he was doing, and was it criminal in nature? Like, did he have the intentions of doing something criminal? The Supreme Court also says you can't do that. You can't try to look into the motive of a president, essentially because every president, most of their decisions are made in what is going to be in their best political interest.
Right.
So, I mean, it would just blow everything out of the water. So they say as long as it's an official act, then he's immune, yes. But they have to send it back to the lower courts for the lower courts to decide what official acts constitute. Now, whatever the lower court says, one side or another is going to argue over it, and it'll be sent back to the Supreme Court in a different form. All of this is going to happen well after the election, so the cases are dead. The cases are essentially dead. There's nothing they can do. That's why it's such a big win for Donald Trump, and that's why the leftists are freaking out. I watched on the way over here, I saw a TikTok from Joy Reid, or tweet from Joy Reid, who is not happy at all. Yeah, here she is. Look at her haircut, by the way. She got called out for cultural appropriation because she had Trump's haircut, and all of a sudden she shaved it all off. I hope everybody noticed that. Because it was the guy from Real America's Voice, the guy that does all the border stuff. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. We see him all the time.
Forget his name.
Ben something, Bendover. I don't know. Yeah. He caught her at the courthouse during the Trump stuff, and he was like, "Do you not feel your hair is cultural appropriation of Donald Trump?" And she's like, "Shut the F up." Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's not a happy camper today about the Supreme Court stuff. Listen.
This election is no longer about the old guy that's in the White House now. Like, all the op-ed pages and the New York Times can run around and opine about, what Joe Biden should do. And, y'all have fun with that. Enjoy yourselves, intellectual thought leaders. I no longer care. Doesn't matter to me anymore. Good. It's above me now.
She's
It's
gotten
above
her
me now.
money.
There's a Waffle House next door. There's a Best Western next door as well.
What?
It's above me now. It's above Joe Biden now. Don't care about Joe Biden's age, infirmity, that he shuffle when he walk. I don't care.
Does he
He
shuffle
could be
when he
seated for
walks?
the rest of from now to election day and never get up off a chair. He could sit down.
She
He
gets
could
out of the
roll around
studio
in
and
a-
she's
in a
ghetto
wheelchair.
all of a
He could be
sudden.
on a skateboard, seated. I don't care.
Sitting on a skateboard.
Donald John Trump cannot be allowed back into the White House. Because if you combine that madman with this court, two of whose members are insurrectionists who flew, one of whom flew an upside down flag
Jesus.
at his home and blamed it on his wife, who's also crazy. The other of whose wife literally was part of the insurrection. And they ruled in this. They put themselves in the Leonard Leo 6. They went ahead and ruled on this with no shame. You combine this court, two of whose members are going to immediately resign, and put 30-year-olds in there, including probably the guy who wrote the opinion in the Beaters case, meaning that Beaters should be able to get machine guns, which, by the way, they have now arrogated to themselves the power to decide all federal rules. Everything, whether your plane that you fly in is safe, how much carbon can be in the atmosphere, how much filth can be in your water. They said agencies that have experts can't decide that. They will decide that. So they are kings, and Trump is king. You put him in the White House, combined with this court and a Republican House and Senate, we're done, y'all. All the rights that were won in the 20th century, the hard-earned rights of women, laborers, workers, the rights of children. Remember, child labor used to be legal. The rights of black folks, forget that. The rights of non-white immigrants, forget that. All of the 20th, they are trying to repeal the entire 20th century, and they're doing it fast.
Oh, yeah.
What American rights
Them
do
and these crazy
non-white
Republican
immigrants
governors,
have?
They are repealing the American century, the 20th century, because they don't like it and they want back the 19th century.
Yeah, this is
The century
disgusting.
when super rich white men, unchecked and untaxed, amassed great wealth, passed it down with no taxation to their descendants, and pretended that they had earned it on their own, that they were just masters of the universe. They want that era back. They think that the 20th century was an abomination, and they are dismantling it. They're coming for every single one of our rights. They're not done. They're not done. If you love having your freedom, having the freedom for contraception, LGBTQ rights, that's going too. If you don't think they're coming for Obergefell, if you don't think they're coming for all these rights, then you are delusional. They're coming for all of it. They're dismantling the 20th century. They are repealing the 20th century. This ain't about Joe Biden anymore, y'all. It ain't about his policies. There are a lot of them I disagree with. There's a lot of them I disagree with deeply, deeply, morally. But it's not, it's above me now. It's above him now. You cannot allow Republicans to control the White House, the House, and the Senate, and the Supreme Court, and all of these states. You're now voting for your life. You must vote. Listen to Taraji P. Henson, y'all. Project 2025. They've now just implemented it from the court. You don't even need it now. If you have this court, plus Trump, plus the House, plus the Senate, plus all these states, y'all better vote for your lives in November. I'm gone. Y'all be good.
So she seems to be doing well today.
Yeah. I wish there was one thing she left off. I'm gone. I'm leaving the country.
Yeah.
If Trump wins.
That old gag. You can't believe
What a
anybody that
joke.
says that, because so many people say it. How many
It's
people
like
said that?
she's in the confession booth with the Mad Real World or something. You know?
Yeah. She was like in the real world. Yeah, she's crazy, and she talked about that. What did she say the girl's name was? Tanaji or something? I will get into her in a minute. This is how out of their mind they are. Look at some of these tweets from prominent leftists. This is Harry Sisson. Harry Sissy. He's like some 18-year-old social media influencer that goes to bat for Joe Biden. Like, he just loves Joe Biden. According to the Supreme Court, Biden could now send in SEAL Team 6 to take all of them out. SEAL Team 6 to take all of them out. He could send in the military and take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. So the left is fantasizing about SEAL Team 6 taking out Trump. Here's another one. Says Biden should have Trump killed and see what happens next. Might set dangerous precedents or whatever, but since conservatives have had to scramble to assert the president as king, legally he's in the clear. He could also bomb SCOTUS. Nothing of value there.
Jack Eason needs to be visited by the Men in Black.
Dude, they're putting this on the internet. They've got this absurd argument that now that Trump can't be prosecuted, and this would have never happened if you wouldn't have come after the guy.
No.
For political reasons.
Never in a million years.
Now that this has had to be addressed by the court, nothing like this has ever gone in front of the Supreme Court. But you guys forced it. And now here we are, and it's got to be clarified that this is the reality. A president can't be hemmed up by... Think about the way some cops are treated in certain far-left cities now. They can't do anything. Criminals, don't touch them. Don't harass them. Don't ask them questions. They can't do anything, and they have to let crime run amok because of the liability. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to be the next Derek Chauvin. They don't want to, get thrown in prison because they roughed a guy up who just robbed a store or whatever.
I mean, and that makes the police less safe because they're going to second guess themselves. And when somebody pulls a gun, you don't get a second chance.
But in that same sense, think about the president. The president's got to make some very tough decisions.
Right.
And if the president is in the same boat as a police officer in a far left city, the president's never going to do anything.
Even if it's done either.
Won't get anything done. And if it's whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, it won't be able to do anything. But what's interesting about this is they're talking about how, this is just purely Trump. This has never happened in the past that somebody would make the argument that the president is immune, except the internet's forever. And here's Barack Obama talking about when he bombed that one guy, literally talking about the exact same thing.
I would have detained and prosecuted al-Awlaki if we captured him before he carried out a plot, but we couldn't. And as president, I would have been derelict in my duty had I not authorized the strike that took him out. Of course, the targeting of any American raises constitutional issues that are not present in other strikes.
So here you go. Here's Barack Obama talking about having to take out an American that was going to commit terrorist acts. And he's like, hey, I had to do it. I didn't have a choice or we would have carnage on our hands. But, it's just something that the president's got to do sometimes. He's making the argument for Trump.
For Trump, right.
But now we've turned around to where the left is completely flipped out and they think SEAL Team 6 should take out Donald Trump.
To me, every time something happens, and it's something new every day, to me it just reveals more about the left.
Yeah.
It just, the curtain is continually pulled back.
These guys have had a bad week. I mean, you think about, and Tony, you were out of pocket, but what was your reaction when you saw the debate Thursday?
It was just the second guess I had. I thought they would have Biden tank on purpose to open it up for someone else during the convention.
But now we find ourselves in a situation where the media is admitting it. It's like they had this epiphany and they're like, oh my God, Joe Biden's got dementia. We can't believe it. They were forced to admit it.
Yeah.
All the talk of deep fakes and cheap fakes and pretending that what we were seeing wasn't real were all out the window once we watched him live for 90 minutes on the debate stage. So they had no choice. They were backed in a corner. And then it was the Democrats' turn and the Joe Biden campaign's turn to admit what we all collectively as Americans know. And not just Americans, but people across the world. It's time to admit it. But you go to Democrats, and Democrats are like, no, everything's fine. What are you talking about? I
so transparent.
He just had a bad night. I don't know.
They've been doing stuff like this for years, though.
Yeah.
So they're pretending it's fine. Then they go to the Joe Biden camp. Barack Obama allegedly in a meeting with other top advisors go to meet with Joe Biden to say, hey, I think it's time. We're running out of time, and I think it's time for you to step aside. And what happens? Joe Biden and Hunter Biden say, get out. Get out. He's not dropping out. Now they're in the situation where Biden and his circle are saying, no, we're not dropping out. And the rest of the Democratic Party is like, please, please. But the Democrats won't admit it out in public. They're terrified to say that they think Joe should step down. Whether it's the people that would replace him, like Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or whoever, The Democrats in Congress that are in office, they won't dare say it. No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Even though behind the scenes, they all collectively agree, we got to get this guy out of here. This is crazy to think that an old senile man is the one that, one, is holding the entire Democrat Party hostage, but
yes.
two, could be the one to take down the Democrat Party. If Joe Biden single-handedly takes down the Democrat Party, I will never say another bad thing about him.
He needs the Congressional Medal of Honor.
That's right. We're going to double up. We're going to Medal of Freedom. Yeah. Joe Biden, you can be a hero here. Do not drop out. Do not drop out of this race.
I think even in his diminished state, then in his hubris, he's not going to, there's no way his ego is going to let him do it.
Well,
if he's got the presence of mind still.
I don't think it's his ego. I think it's 100% Joe Biden wanting to stay vice president, wanting to go to the state dinners, wanting to wear tablecloths around the White House. Like, this is what she wants, and she was a driving force behind him running in 2020, even though members of his family said he's not in good enough shape to do this. She did it anyway. And Hunter Biden, it's a no-brainer that he needs his dad to stay president because he doesn't want to go to prison, and he wants to continue to cut deals all across the world.
That's what I think there's problems with Hunter and the kids and things like that, and all kinds of crimes we probably don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way to make sure they don't get prosecuted. So if they're going to bow out, I bet you there's going to be special deals made with certain people to make sure nothing happens to those.
No, dude, it's crazy, and everybody had their prediction for months and months on what's going to happen. They say Joe Biden won't be in the race, but we said that when he got elected, that there's no way he makes it through the presidency. But nobody guessed that we would be this far in, weeks before the convention, and Joe Biden is holding the party hostage because he refuses to drop out. That's crazy. Crazy. I don't know, man.
Well, they're having to weigh right now. I bet you behind the scenes, they're having to weigh, okay, which is going to be more of a disaster, if Joe Biden stays in or if we make a switch at the last minute.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Here comes either Hillary, Michelle, or Gavin, and if they bring in Michelle, like I always thought, they're going to have to figure out what to do with Kamala because they're not. I don't think she's going to work out anyway.
No, there's nobody likes her. I mean, a lot of people don't like Joe, and by the way, I sent you something just now, Tony. If we can pull that up. People don't like Joe, but people really don't like Kamala Harris.
From the beginning.
I mean, she's an awful human being. People didn't like her in the past, I don't even know. Remember she was banging Montel Williams there for a while? I don't even think Montel really liked her. I think he just needed a side piece. But here's when it hit me. From Meet the Press on Sunday morning on NBC, they opened their show talking about how Biden needs to drop out, and there's panic. Now, this is a show that has gone to bat for the Democrats unlike anybody else. This is Joe Biden's official TV show. It's attack Donald Trump, defend Joe Biden at all costs. This is how they open their show on Sunday.
It is yet another extraordinary moment in the 2024 election cycle, with Democrats in a state of crisis after President Joe Biden delivered a disastrous debate performance that fueled voters' top concerns about his age and ability to serve another 4 years in office. Not since the first Nixon-Kennedy debate in 1960 has a debate had as much potential to shake up a presidential race. This morning, there is widespread panic within the Democratic Party and questions about whether the president should drop out of the race.
I think it was a disaster. I think it was like maybe the worst debate I've ever seen in my entire life.
I do think people feel like that we are confronting a crisis.
There were going to be discussion about whether he should continue. At first it was shocking, then it was scary, then it was sad, and by the end it was absurd. Is the riskiest path sticking with Joe Biden, or is the riskiest path saying we want someone else? And anybody who says that that is not a tough call right now is full of
On Friday, in a stunning move, the New York Times editorial board called on President Biden to serve his country and drop out of the presidential race. NBC News has learned that President Biden...
So think about that. When NBC is citing the New York Times and saying, serve your country, drop out of the race.
That's not one-sided.
That's wild. That's crazy. So anyway, these people are in a panic. They're in an absolute panic. What do? They're already facing a deficit with black voters, right? How they're hemorrhaging, especially young black males. That's their most dedicated voter base. And we did a podcast, a week or so ago about the black support for Trump. It hasn't slowed down.
No.
It hasn't reversed. There are polls that came out on CNN over the weekend that shows Joe Biden in certain polls with approval ratings of in the 20s. The 20s, like 27, 28%.
That's lower than Carter's was.
That's it. That's the lowest in history.
I never thought it would get that low.
And the two questions were, is he mentally fit to continue to be president? It was like 28% people approved. Should he be running for president? 27 people agreed. That's the only... What? That's crazy. And so, anyway, you hemorrhaging black votes. What do? What's the smartest thing to do? We're Democrats, by the way. What is the smartest thing to do if you are losing black voters? Well, of course. You go on BET.
There you go. There you go.
So you go to the BET Awards. You send Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris does a little cameo with this lady's, her name's like Tajari. I don't remember what her name is. But they're pretending to do a FaceTime or whatever, and this is what they played on the award show. Oh, man.
Oh, hell no.
That's
government what to do.
They not like us, John Burr.
No, they're not.
They didn't mention the border. They didn't mention everything important.
Could you imagine, though? I saw the girl, Taraji, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
She it was showing her phone and Kamala's big face on it. Could you imagine, like, waking up in the morning and you grab your phone and it's Kamala on a FaceTime?
Guaranteed to wake you up. That's for sure.
Yeah, it would.
Not in a good way.
That was bad. So that Taraji chick then turns around and she was given. She's the host of the BET Awards apparently, and so she got up during one of the segments and started going off on this diatribe about the dangers of not getting Joe Biden back in office. You want to see that?
Of course.
It was. This one's almost as cringe as the Kamala one, which is, that's tough to beat. But here, so she goes on and
sorry about that.
She was. Did you see? We played that on the show. Did you see the angst in her face? Like how bent out of shape? I truly believe that she believed what she was saying.
Oh, yeah.
But she was so out of sorts over all of these things that didn't even make sense, such as homeless being a crime. The draft is coming back, but not just any draft, a draft that only drafts black people. What was the other thing? I don't even remember. 3 Supreme Court seats are up. What seats are you talking about? There's no Supreme Court seats up. You bozo.
That's stage 4 TDS right there.
It really is.
On a different level. But you've got to look at that and say, that was a bad move. Like, the black community doesn't want to be talked to like that. They don't want to be screamed at by some lady.
And it's pandering. And actually, I do recognize her. She's actually a good actress. But because she's a good actress, she can appeal to white or black depending on whatever situation she's in that benefits her.
So do you think
her
maybe
with some of that attitude and the Chaka Khan hair?
Do you think maybe that was an act, that maybe she wasn't bent out of shape and she's just playing her role of, hey, we got to freak people out and you're a good actress?
No, I would say that she believed it, but I believe if she were talking to white liberals, the tone would be different. The delivery would be different. I really believe that. I mean, they're actors.
It's playing to the audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Playing to an audience, to how many of them are suffering from, not being able to put food on the table.
Right.
All that. Nobody out in that audience.
No, not anybody at the BET
Awards.
Awards. Yeah.
And I
it's
noticed the
just-
people in the audience kind of looked cringe-faced.
Yeah, there was a
when she
couple
going
that
on.
wasn't vibing with it. So I don't know. I feel like these people have to look at themselves in the mirror or go and rewatch some of this stuff and think like that was stupid. I mean, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden think each other stupid. They don't even. I've actually got evidence of that. I've got this video here that it's Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in a rare one-on-one conversation that nobody has seen, talking to each other. Watch.
Let's talk about the economy. What I believe we must do is continue to be vigilant and fighting for folks who have
What a
the
stupid
right
son of a
to be
bitch.
seen and their circumstances have the ability to actually alleviate the burdens that people are carrying that
What's
make it
going
difficult
on
for
here?
them to get through the day or the
Come
morning.
on.
We have the power
What the hell are you
today
talking
to
about?
have an impact on tomorrow. And we can't
I don't understand what the point you're trying to make.
ourselves out to be a model of to coexist with an economic strength and power.
None of this is worth it. None of this is worth it.
Talk about the
God, that's funny.
Yeah, so they don't even like each other. They don't.
No.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Joe might not even remember, has to be reminded daily.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just wild. It's wild. Then there was a bunch of stuff. What else am I missing? There was a bunch of stuff going on at the Pride parades. Like everybody's trying to wrap up Gay Month, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know if y'all heard it today, but there was an audible noise of trash cans, which was all the world's corporations taking their gay pride stuff and throwing it in the trash. You know, that Gay Pride Month's over or whatever. And so now that we've moved on, it's almost as like the LGBTQ community did not have a fun Pride Month, because I saw videos of different pride rallies. Like this one here, this one's out of New York, where it was just free-for-all brawls. And I'm like, first of all, you take the word gay, which means happy.
Right.
So if you're going to be in the Pride Parade, can you at least be happy?
And be proud to be happy.
And be proud. Pride, happy, proud. Happy
Yes.
Pride. Yeah. But there's no happy pride in this. I want you to watch. This is from New York again.
The windmill.
Oh my
I
God.
don't even know what's going on here.
This is better than the UFC 303 fight.
So yeah, Pride Month got started or ended with a bang, should I say. I don't even know what caused that. There were other videos out in San Francisco of the Pride Parade, and they had a fetish area, and a guy went in there with a camera, and there were people getting spanked, people were walking around naked. There was one old man laying in an inflatable pool and had people coming up and peeing on him.
Oh, God.
And then he laid down and another person took a duty on him.
Oh!
Yeah, as part of the fetish. And there was another guy getting a
fellatio, I think is the
I was
technical word.
I was trying to find I was trying to remember a language that we learned from Bubba the Love Sponge. He was getting
fellatio fe.
He-op, A-op, D-op.
Okay.
No. He-op, A-op, dop. He was getting he-op, A-op, dop.
He was drinking a Mountain Dew?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. So
I knew it.
It was really weird, and I would bring it up on here, but obviously YouTube's never going to let that fly. It's on Twitter if you want to look it up. You want to watch some old man getting doo-dooed on. It may be your grandpa, so, you know. I don't know.
Some people enjoy that.
Well, yeah, this guy really enjoyed it. This is what I don't like, that is somebody's grandpa that was doing that. And it's like,
well, maybe or maybe not. If he was celebrating gay pride, maybe he
never had kids.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
Anyway, we're running out of time. We got to get out of here. I'm glad I ended this show on a note of somebody doo-dooing on somebody's grandpa.
Well, I had an announcement that I wanted to make.
Okay.
I was trying to find a way to show my patriotism.
Okay.
And I've made a decision. But the folks out there, I would like for you to help me decide on what I should do. I've decided, Tony, if you bring up the first one.
Did you think he was about to announce he was coming out of the closet with that conversation we were doing?
No.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
No. But I've decided to go in the chair and get a tattoo.
Let's see. Oh, my.
Okay, so that would be the first choice for a tattoo. Okay, it'll be around the forehead. Now, there's other options. Okay, show us another option. There would be one. I could do one on the side.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's one more that I think would be really powerful. I'm kind of leaning towards that. That would be underneath my throat.
Oh, God.
So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like the sentiment. I think the "Don't Tread on Me" Gadsden flag is solid. The forehead gives me Charles Manson vibes.
Okay, all right.
The side of the face, I don't think it looks good, but the neck tattoo, which also gives prison vibes or like this guy's trouble. If I got to pick one of the three, I'd say neck tattoo.
Because I'm thinking, I was thinking that too. Because I keep my head down. Everybody, and they're like, "Woo, Trump sucks." Button. I can go. And they will scatter. They will scatter when I reveal the snake. Huh?
I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Tony, what do you think?
I think there should be no problem with you going around showing everybody your snake.
Yeah, and all I would ever be able to think of is, I'm a snake.
No, you're scared
Just
of
get
snakes.
it tattooed on your ass. How about that?
Well, nobody can see it.
What about above your waistline? And you got like a snake coming up out of your pants line.
No, this is the Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me.
Yeah, don't tread on my...
Go with the forehead. That's my vote.
The forehead?
I'm sticking with the throat.
The throat?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What can you do with the forehead? All I can do is like...
You can make your...
I can make him dance a little bit. And then over here, I can make him fat and go...
You didn't put one on your chin, though. That would have been a nice option.
Yeah, put a snake on your chin.
No. You guys are awful.
Okay, let's hold off on the tattoo idea. Let's think it through, because I'm sure there's a lot of options. Maybe start off with an arm tattoo. You don't have any tattoos, do you?
No, I contemplated one about a year and a half ago.
You should get one. We should let the audience vote on a tattoo for you. What do you think? Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we pitch it on the show tomorrow? Let's pitch it on the show tomorrow. I'm not saying we have to do it. I just wonder what the audience reaction would be.
Okay.
And we'll just see what they say.
Okay.
And then I'm sure
I'll get one on the bottom of my foot. That way I'll be safe.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do. Is this what is
that would be what I would look like laying and then getting a tattoo
on your cheek?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
My God, look at my mouth. I look like a big mouth bass.
Yeah,
Billy Bass.
You look like a turtle. I mean,
oh my God, Tony, get that off the screen. Oh my gosh.
They always say that people like owners look like they're animals after a certain point, So I think you just got Felipe vibes, which is not a big deal.
Well, better than Bubbles.
Yeah.
That Bubbles thing for a while, that was getting to me. I'll take Felipe any day.
Hey, do we have, because we've already run over our time limit, so we probably got time to do this, that Tucker Carlson deal that we were going to talk about?
Yeah.
Let's bring that up. So this happened, I guess, a week or two ago. There's this random chick, and I guess she's gay or whatever, who had been doing videos, and people on Twitter or TikTok started saying, "Hey, you look like Tucker Carlson." Now, this girl does not know who Tucker Carlson is.
Of course.
But when she saw it so many times, she's like, I got to figure out who this guy is and if I actually look like him. So here's how that went down.
Established gay, I never imagined myself on the side of TikTok that thinks I look like Tucker Carlson, but here we are. And I gotta be honest, I know of this man, but I could not pick him out of a lineup. So I'm gonna Google him, and we're gonna see if you guys are onto something or not. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Carlson. What?
Yeah, you do.
You look a lot like
Being
him.
a well-established gay, I never.
So, yeah, she looks just like Tucker Carlson. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, go back to that live shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, that looks like Tucker, man. She's even the haircut's not even that far.
I know
off.
it.
That's what tops it off. That's what pushes it over the edge.
That's unbelievable.
If the hair was a little shorter, what are the chances you look like Tucker Carlson? Like, you don't know who he is, but you look like him, and you decide on a haircut that looks like his haircut.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm gonna have some fun with this tonight.
And that's the moment she noticed that she looked like him.
Even the teeth look the same and everything.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Wow.
That's wild. Anyway, let's get out of here. I think our plans are, if you're watching this in a timely manner, we're going to have another podcast Wednesday, the 3rd of July.
Yes.
And then the big one. This is going to be a big event. We are going to be live at 12 o'clock noon Central Time. And I say 12 o'clock. We're going to do 12 o'clock-ish. It's hard to get the time just right. 12 o'clock-ish on Friday, July the 5th. We are going to be live, and it is going to replace our radio show for the day.
Yes.
And I don't know what this live show is going to entail, but
It's
we're
gonna
going
be
to
fun. We're gonna do Jumper Plays the Guitar.
Oh yeah, it's Fun King Friday.
Yeah.
It's the first Fun King Friday on Over the Line.
You guys going to be wheeling in the wheel?
We'll do the wheel of segments.
We'll do the wheel of segments here. Yeah.
Doing the wheel of segments on the podcast is going to be so much better because we're going to have pictures.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have video. Oh man, this is going to be good.
I can't wait.
All right, so make sure y'all are subscribed. Where's my subscribe button? There it is. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell right there. And then you'll be notified when we go live. Tony Gupp, you got any final words, buddy?
Sure. Water, meat, sunlight, sleep. Get plenty of that. Make sure you're right with God. And also teach your kids something useful today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you brought that back. You
A lot of
left that
good,
to-
yeah.
You left that hanging
It's
for a
sort
while.
of like a best of all his stuff.
Yeah. It's a Tony Gupp best stuff. And John Bird.
If you're going to get a tattoo, never, ever leave it up to other people to decide where it should go or what it should be. And eat your vegetables.
Well, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Eating vegetables?
No. Letting other people pick your tattoo.
Yeah, well,
But
I mean-
they're not picking it. We're just taking suggestions.
Okay. And always get a color tattoo. I've never understood just the black and white. Maybe it's cheaper. But if you're going to get a tattoo, do it right. Go with colors.
Get some color, baby. Get
Yeah,
some.
see?
Get some color, baby. Anyway, I just want to flex.
Orange is the best color now.
Yes, it is. Orange. Look, is there any like wonder that I have a T, which is the first letter of my favorite president's name, and it's orange? Come on.
That's incredible.
I'm just saying.
Really? Did you do that because of that?
No, but it was
okay.
foreshadowing.
Yes.
I didn't realize it at the time, but because I was 18 when I got that. That was 2003 or 4.
A good job was done. And by the way, don't do those self-tattooing kits. No, don't ever do that.
Or don't get a tattoo in jail.
No.
Okay,
Don't go to jail.
Don't go to jail.
Don't
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
tramp stamp.
That's
if you're
it.
a guy.
That's enough advice. All right, we're getting out of here. I will. How do I end this show?
Until next time.
Until next time, see you guys.